couple things I just want to say. When does the no quarter catch crew D'Angelo family story end? Holy hell, that's been going on forever. It's almost like, there you go. Let's get one more in here. See you next week, baby. Can Tony do it again? It's almost like they've run out of stuff to do with them. It's almost like they don't know what else to do with the D'Angelo family. And it's almost like that gimmick probably doesn't fit on Raw or SmackDown. What, are they going to throw people in trunks? You can't have that and have Bloodline do a massive beatdown segment on the same show. Because then the Bloodline stuff, where they beat up Randy Orton and put him through a table, is a little different and feels a little different than the D'Angelo family kidnapping people and maybe throwing them in rivers. Which is why I will continue to say, and I had this epiphany recently, that NXT is basically Lucha Underground and that it lives in its own world and lives by its own rules, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that some of those gimmicks will translate well to Raw and SmackDown. I said Oro Mensah, Ethan Page is not a pay-per-view level match. It is not. It will happen on Great American Bash, Night 2. Also, remember, they're going to Sci-Fi. Also, because of the Olympics. I'm good with it. Get through it. It's a win for Ethan Page. Yobi, I don't think they're going to translate on a national. I like him a lot. I think all of them are very talented performers who have taken steps forward. Tony's a really good worker. Like, his eighth match ever was War Games. He was an amateur wrestler. So he had that background. But his character, there is definitely talent there. I like Rizzo. I think she's, you know what? You know what she reminds me of? William Regal used to put up this set of tweets for every once in a while. And he would talk about it. He would put it up like once every couple of months because he was part of character development in WWE and is obviously back in a similar kind of developing, recruiting role now. And advice he would give, because you would, I think people know he used to run promo class and did stuff after Dusty and all that. He was there, the KO stuff, and and they had a couple of, Proving Ground or whatever, and he's seeing what the entrance looks like for Aaliyah, and he's like, oh, I don't know what this means, my dear. And he would put up these tweets, and it would talk about how if you want to make it in this business, you need to be able to do stuff that you don't want to do or you don't feel comfortable doing and throw yourself into it. Because if you could do that and be good at it, then you could do stuff that is easier down the road. Then you'll be really good at that stuff. You got to throw yourselves into characters that don't make you feel confident or that you don't have confidence in. Or that don't feel comfortable. Rizzo was a track athlete who went to NC State, and now she's Carmela Soprano, and doing a hell of a job at it, and is dropped right into the role quite nicely. Luca Crisafino is a wrestling lawyer who is now in a more evolved role of being consigliere. He still wrestles in business pants, but he's from Pittsburgh. You ever see his social media, and I appreciate the efforts he's put in. He has wild hair and used to be a much bigger guy and played for, and all right, play this role. And I'll tell you what, I always had my eye on him, even when I worked there. I actually pitched an idea of him giving legal advice in a heel type role on the bump, where he would review the transgressions and issues that may have happened, and he would come up with some kind of legal verdict or some kind of case that he could make. Well, the referee was clearly out of position here, and I would like to represent. Take your pick. Pick a heel. I would like to represent Miz in a case that I think should be brought to Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce and blah blah blah, like that, giving legal advice. Because I think he was fun. And I like that he came up with his business cards. And yeah, you're not going to be a wrestling lawyer in 2024, and you can't take that seriously. As a consigliere, okay. Stacks, I have heard nothing but good things about. Often working in Natty's Orlando dungeon with her and TJ and all them. Worked really hard. Made something of that. Has dropped into that role so nicely. Remember, there was a third, 2 dimes. He's sleeping with the fishes, I guess, and then popped up in AEW. And then Tony's done what he's had to do. To be able to do all those things, to be able to drop in a role that is very different, to really be a character, to act, to not be who you are in real life for the most part, that's impressive. Does that translate to the main roster? No, I don't think it does. But it shows that they have talent. I talked about Kiana James. She's a hell of a worker. Trained at Flatbacks with Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. They put her in that businesswoman role, and it had those weird porn undertones. And they got away from that. And it was more of just kind of how she dressed, and she evolved her gear, and now they're not doing enough with her on Raw. Becky Lynch was doing that stupid Irish jig stuff. She put everything she could into that. And then we got Steampunk Becky and more of a believable role. That's what good performers are going to do, and that's what good booking will do. But to Regal's point, it was do stuff you're not comfortable with. Cody Rhodes talked about not knowing Stardust was probably not going to do anything for him, not loving it, but throwing everything he could into it, trying to make that work. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette. And
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.